In this video, I want to show you how to set up your gradebook if you're a points person. If you just wanted to add up or sum all of the scores, how do you set that up in AsULearn? So from the main course site, go under the gear and go to Gradebook Setup. Now by default, it uses something called simple weighted mean of grades, which is actually pretty related to points. What it does, it adds up all the scores the student earns, it divides by the points possible, and converts their overall grade into a percentage. So a lot of people do use that. But if you are strictly a sum person and you want that running total and that's what you want it to display, you need to change the aggregation. So what you're going to do, on this light blue line you should see your course name. Look for actions, and this very top edit on the light blue line, go to Edit Settings. And from here you're going to change the aggregation. And you're going to change it from simple weighted mean to natural. Natural is just the word it uses for sum. Now if you want a running total, you could leave this box checked, exclude empty grades, which means if we've only done one item worth 10 points, you have 10 out of 10, and that's what I want it to display, I would exclude empty grades. By exclude, it means ignore the things we haven't done yet. But if you would prefer to have that total number of points available and visible to students, I don't want 10 out of 10, I want 10 out of 400. That's where we are at this point in the semester. You're going to want to uncheck that box. If you scroll to the bottom and hit Save Changes, now you have moved to a sum, and you can see where the total here now displays 400. That's how many points I have in the course. If you look at this overall course total and there's a number there you hadn't anticipated, look at your grade items because it's really just adding everything up. So if the number seems off, you should look at the grade items to see where things got off track. One thing that when you move to sum, it does display the weights column, and in general I would say just ignore that. What it's showing you, for example, this first item, exam 1, is 15 points, so 15 out of 400 is 3.75%. So that's all that weight column is telling you, its contribution to the overall grade. Now sometimes you do things that contribute to the grade, but they're not necessarily done in AsULearn. So if you need to add a column in the gradebook, scroll to the bottom, click Add Grade Item, give the item a name, and under max grade, this is where you would decide how many points it's worth. I'm going to say 10 points. And then just scroll to the bottom and hit Save Changes. So now my course total is at 410. The grade item that I just added is down here at the bottom. And I can tell the different icons. So whenever I see these plain squares, I know it's a manual grade item. Up here at the top, I can tell exam 1, that's an online quiz. This is an assignment. Whenever you add graded items on the main page, like quizzes, like assignments, those automatically appear in the gradebook. Now, in addition to adding grade items, sometimes faculty like to group things together. They might say, for example, hey, we do homework assignments, we do exams. Sometimes students are stronger in one area over the other, and I want them to see, just in case their performance could be a little stronger in one area. You can group things together by using categories. Categories are similar to folders. They just group things together. So I'm going to click Add Category and give it a name. An important step here under aggregation, if you create a category that also has an aggregation, you're going to want to switch it to natural so that also is summing up all of those scores. If you want a large running total, uncheck Exclude Empty Grades. Scroll to the bottom and hit Save Changes. So I added the category. If I scroll to the bottom, here it is, my journals category. There's nothing in that category, so if I want to move those items into that category, what you need to do is select them. So beginning up here, I'm just going to check these items, and once you've selected them, by checking the box, you can come down here, move selected items to, and choose journals. you're going to get this. It's recalculating. So my total is still at 410, what it always was. And when I come down here, I can see journals are only 45 points, and this is how the student is doing in that area. Now sometimes you might look at something and say, wait a minute, you know, this journal for 10 points, I wanted that to be extra credit. How do I tag it as extra credit? And when you use sum, it's really easy to identify extra credit. You would just go to the item, so in this case it's this journal, go to Edit Settings. Come down here and check the box Extra Credit, hit Save Changes. So now my course total, the points possible, dropped to 400 because those 10 points are now extra credit points. But when I come down here, I still see the item, but it's put a little plus sign by the points, and that's how I know it's extra credit. I hope that helps.